Hey guys, this is Mike from BTech Reviews here, and today we're going to take a look at the mobile Initiative Valor. Hey guys, this is Mike again from BTech Reviews, and today we're going to take a look at the mobile Initiative Valor. So this is actually a rugged smartphone that was sent to me by a company called Mobile Initiative, right, initially. And I was very skeptical about the device, first of all, because it's a rugged smartphone, and really in 2019 you don't really see a lot of usage for rugged smartphones other than the fact that maybe if you work in like construction or you know, if you're the type of person that's constantly going out where you will need a specific phone like this. But at the same time, you know, I believe there is still somewhat of a market for it, but again, not really, because you could just buy OtterBox cases. So they sent me this device with the intentions of me just being honest about this specific phone. So again, I've had it for a few weeks already, so you know, I want to apologize for them for the delay on the actual review here. But let's go over the quick overview of this phone, guys. Let me turn off the screen, so we'll give you a description as far as, you know, device specs and all that. But first of all, I want to go over the physical features of the phone. So all the way around, if you guys didn't watch the unboxing, again, this phone is very rugged. From the get-go, you feel that it's a hard touch plastic, very grippy phone. You know, you have your two camera sensors back here, and with somewhat of an aluminum trim. So not to say that this phone doesn't look bad at all. I'm really a fan of their logo, by the way. So I like how they integrated their logo back here. On the bottom here, you have your rear speaker here. On the side, of course, you have your volume rockers and power button. On this side, you actually have your micro SD card slot along with your SIM card tray, and then of course this random button, which I'll go over, which I thought was the power button, and it is actually a makeshift, I guess, camera button, which only works when you have it on the lock screen, by the way. On the bottom, of course, you do have your charging sensor or charging port over here, which by surprise, it's not a USB Type-C. It is actually just a regular, see if I can get that on the shot there, just a regular micro USB charging port, which, you know, to say the least, isn't really bad. I guess 2019, you basically only have Lightning or USB Type-C cables in most modern smartphones now. So again, that, you know, they did have to cut cost in order to keep this relatively inexpensive for most consumers, though. So I bet that was one of the cost-saving features. And let me see, I believe this does actually have a headphone jack on top. So as you can see here, all these ports are covered up, and they're covered up for a specific reason, guys. Okay, so the reason why all of these are covered is because this phone is actually IP68 waterproof certified. So for one of those you know, products that, you know, you don't really see a lot of these phones being waterproof nowadays, because they, again, most smartphone makers don't want to invest the money in waterproofing features. This is one of those phones that you can actually, you know, take to the actual beach, or, you know, take to the pool and not have to worry about getting it you know, submerged in water, because it does have all of those little, I guess, it does have that for it, you know what I mean? I wouldn't say it's a drawback, but at the same time, this phone does have some key pluses, and it also has some key minuses in the phone that, you know, we'll go over. So going from there, you know, physical features aside, this thing is running Android 8.1 out of the box, so not your newest version of Android, to say the least. I believe we're already on Android 9.0, and of course Android Q coming out very soon. And for the most part, you know, this phone does not you know, run badly in any sense. You know, it is running a quad-core processor. It's got I can't give you a specific chipset. It's not really descriptive in that. I have used apps like Geekbench, which have given me a score, and it just says it's an ARM MT being MediaTek, I assume, processor. And again, it only has about 3 gigs of RAM, and again, it's clocked at 1.3 gigahertz as far as the processing power goes. So not let's see if I can get this in the shot for you guys. I did lower the ISO. There you go. There we go. I want you guys to see this on the screen there. But again, to say the least, you know, for what it is, it doesn't run as bad as I thought it would. At first, it was a little stuttery. but after a while, you know, it just, you know, you get used to it, and it does have a good feel to it when you are using the phone. So going from there, again, this thing does have 32 gigabytes of internal memory, so, you know, for the most part, you'll be able to, you know, take video, pictures without having any issues as far as memory go. Really depends on the amount of apps that you guys install on here. For the most part, most people will just use this, again, for YouTube, Snapchat, you know, Facebook, if they do decide to do any type of social media sharing. And it does not come with a lot of bloatware out of the box. Has a sound recorder, you know, Google Play Store basic stuff. You know, I downloaded Hulu, Instagram, Twitter just to see how it works. It does have an FM radio transmitter, so most of those transmitters do work with the actual 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, so you guys do need a physical headphone jack in order to use the radio. So just for reference, a lot of people ask me that. Again, it's running off of different GSM bands. It does have LTE though, so I never connected this to a SIM card though, so unfortunately I cannot give you guys feedback on that. So for those of you guys who are giving me ugly remarks in the past about doing that, I do apologize. I did not connect this, and I did not use this as my daily driver. But again, it is a dual SIM, so you can actually put more than one SIM card in there. Okay, so again, one of the features that, you know, I've been really impressed on this phone is actually its battery life. It has a 3700 milliamp battery, and for the most part, this phone will get you throughout the day. Most of the time, at least. It really depends on your app usage, but I've left this phone on standby for several days. Actually, I left it on standby for a week after a full charge, and it still had about at least 10% of battery life in it. So for the most part, you guys are actually going to be impressed by the battery, almost a 4000 milliamp battery. And another item that I've been kind of impressed with is this fingerprint sensor. Most of these phones that I've reviewed as far as like budget-friendly devices have not really had impressive you know, fingerprint sensors, but for the most part, this fingerprint sensor gets the job done. It doesn't really give you a lot of errors. Again, once you put your finger there, it'll pick it up right away. No lag or stuttering as far as that goes. But the main part, again, is this really random button on the sides. So one of my least favorite things, or one of my, I guess, gripes about this phone is that this has a random button. So when I did the unboxing video, this button, I really thought it was the camera button, which again, I'm pressing it now, or not the camera button, but the power button. Nothing happens, right? So again, the power button's over here on the side. If you turn it on and have the screen on, if you press this button over here again, nothing happens, right? But if you turn the phone off and then you turn the power button on without pressing your fingerprint on here, and then you press the button, it should go straight to the camera app. So let's use my little Batman here just for reference, guys, and we'll go over the camera app in just a bit. That's probably one of the interesting things I want to talk about. But for the most part, it does act as a camera shutter. So if I press it, it'll take pictures with it. So we can check out Batman here just so you guys can see. But again, it won't take you straight to it. So you actually have to unlock the phone in order to actually view the picture, which to me it's kind of stinky. And as you can see there, it's a little washed out, blurred out. The camera it's not a great camera, okay? It's got a 13 megapixel on the rear and a 5 megapixel front camera again, and it's got a dual camera setup. I don't really know the specs on the second camera. It says a 13 megapixel plus 0.3 megapixel autofocus. So I mean, for the most part, you know, the camera, I've actually taken video with this, which I'll post the little video link right here on the top right here for you guys, so that you can see what the video and sound of this looks like. But it's for the most part, camera wise, you know, it has a lot of interesting features. So let's start off with you know, your regular photo. So it does have an HDR mode for those of you who want to know that. Auto flash and you know, whatever, auto flash, I guess. It does have a set of filters for you, so if you want to change those filters, that you can do that. So you can add those effects. Of course, you have your normal mode, and then again the filter modes, which again, if you guys want to choose a filter, you can. The filters are laid out down here. So you know, if I want to change the background to gorgeous, from elegant to memory, I don't even know what memory is, to calm, you know, it does add a little bit of effect here. You know, it has a movie a movie feature aqua sepia, so you can change the tint and colors. Mono will be black and white, of course, over here. But for the most part, you know, it is what it is. I did test the camera, and I'll show you guys a few pictures. What I thought was interesting was that it does have an SLR mode, which allows you to open the shutter, and you can see here, right there, you can see that if I were to close the shutter, it makes the background more solid, but if I open the shutter, it'll actually start blurring things out a little bit in the background. Right now I have a close-up, so you guys can't really see, but again, I'll show you guys picture examples once I get those uploaded. But for the most part, you know, camera wise, it does have a little bit of interesting features that I would really not think that a phone like this would have. It does have a beauty mode for those of you who want to do front facing, and it'll smooth out the skin, it'll make your face slimmer. So I just thought that was interesting that it has all of that, and I can't really show you guys because there you go, but there you go. So it'll give you skin whitening, eye enlargement, you know, things that, you know, a lot of young girls are into when it comes to posting their Instagram photos or whatever like that. So I thought that was interesting. Let's take a look at the video mode really quick before I shut off the camera for you guys though. Video mode doesn't have too many features. You can change it from 1080p to 720 to 480. I'm not sure if that's going to show there, but right here in this little white area, it will show you that you can record in 1080. Gonna assume that the frame rate is at 30 frames a second, but for the most part, you know, even though this phone is very simple, it does have a lot of little features that you can use. It's got anti-flicker auto on. You know, you can turn on the grid lines. For photography, you can turn off and on the shutter sound. It's got a self-timer as well, so, you know, it's pretty decent for what it is, you know what I mean? And let's go back to the home screen here. Again, one thing that I failed to mention was that this thing actually does have capacitive buttons on the bottom. One thing that I'm not a fan of with these capacitive buttons on the bottom though is that they are not lit up. So, you know, if you're gonna add capacitive buttons, make sure you have them light up, because a lot of users will not be able to use these at nighttime, because, you know, it really just depends. I mean, obviously you're gonna memorize where they are, but for the most part, you know, it does take away from screen real estate, which again, the screen on this is a 5.2 inch touch display, which is really relatively small for the size in 2019 especially. But for the most part, the person that's going to buy this isn't going to use this for the screen real estate. You know, they're going to use it because they're going to take it out and they're going to, you know, drop it all over the place. Like literally, I can just drop this phone and nothing's going to happen to it, you know what I mean? I mean, again, I'm going to drop it. I can literally dunk this in water if I wanted to. I'm not going to do that on this video. Maybe I'll make another video about that. But for the most part, you know, you can drop this phone without having any issues. And I'm dropping it here on a solid wood table. And, you know, you're not going to, I mean, you still are going to run the risk of cracking the screen, obviously, if you drop it at a specific height. But it's not going to happen if it's going to be just like a few feet. One cool thing about this phone is the bordering of the phone is blue. So, you know, it really goes along with the scheme of the actual brand of the phone. So, has the same thing on the back, obviously. And for the most part, you know, it's just an overall interesting phone. If you buy this on the website right now, you are actually going to pay a price of $269 from the website. If you buy it on Amazon, though, it'll take you to Amazon, and the price on this from Amazon is $200. I'm actually going to post the link down for you guys so you guys can check that out if you guys are interested. The cool thing about if you buy this on their website, they do donate a part of their proceeds to nonprofit organizations, guys. So for those of you who are big advocates of people that donate to, you know, people that donate to charities in general, on their website it says that they will give back for every phone that we sell. We donate a portion of the proceeds to nonprofit organizations. Dogs Helping Heroes, a charity that provides service dogs to wounded heroes and families. So I believe that that's pretty awesome of them that they do that for their you know, their the people that buy their phones, and they donate a portion of the proceeds to non-profit organizations that will benefit people in the long run. So I think more companies should do that. Obviously, even though this phone again retails at $269 on their website, again you can buy it on Amazon for $200. I don't know if that donation plays out when you buy the phone on Amazon, but for the most part, guys, this phone will get you through the day. It will run basic apps like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Doesn't have the prettiest of screen. I mean, the screen isn't horrible. I have a black screen, or a black wallpaper right now, so it's not washed out when you turn it to the side. So it's not like a lot of those other budget smartphones that just wash out. So if you're watching YouTube or Netflix or whatever, if you just tilt the phone, it's not going to look very bad. So again, for the most part, my final thoughts on this phone is it's a decent phone, a little, in my opinion, a little overpriced. I think if Mobile Initiative really wants to make money, they should really lower this into maybe the 175 range of anything, but it's a relatively new company, and I got to give them shout outs for sending me this device in general. It is what it is, a rugged smartphone in 2019, and I really believe that there is somewhat of a small market for people out there on this. And for the most part, again, let's start up Twitter here just so you guys can kind of get a feedback of how this phone works. So again, for the most part, you're not gonna be wowed by this phone when you're using it, especially when scrolling up and down on apps like Twitter or Instagram. You are gonna feel a little bit of lag depending on your connection speed, but for the most part, you're still gonna be able to enjoy the phone. Okay, I thought that was a picture and it's just an app. It took me to an app, guys. Sorry, I was gonna try to zoom in on that picture. Let's see, I want to see if someone posts a picture that I can actually zoom in on here on Instagram. So there you go. So for the most part, again, you're not going to be wowed by the usage of this phone, but at the same time, this phone is going to get you out through the day. It's going to get basic stuff done. If you're going to be able to email your friends and family, you're going to be able to respond to text messages and phone calls just fine. Again, it's just going to work. And even though it's not super fluid, for the most part, for the consumer that wants to buy this, fluidity might not be something that they are looking for. So again, guys, these are my final thoughts on this video. If you guys have any questions or comments about the phone, go ahead and post them down below. I am actually going to link up the information about this device down below, so I will post their website, and then I will post an Amazon link for you guys so that you guys can check out. So again, guys, if you guys like my videos, go ahead and give them a thumbs up. If you guys like my channel, go ahead and subscribe, and as always, thank you all for watching. We'll see you guys next time.